Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Ultra Z Plays here, back with another life story, and my throat does kind of hurt in this episode, so I have a glass of water beside me. I'll take a bit of a sip if I need it, so if you hear that noise, you'll know what it is. Anyway, on to the story. So this one takes place when I was 10 years old, back in 5th grade. What happened was, I was in Starbucks with my dad. This was like in the afternoon, and I was like sipping some hot chocolate, and he was just like reading something on his phone. I don't remember what it was. I don't think I even cared about it. But yeah, he was reading something on his phone, and like there was like this entire like wall of glass. There was just like this massive window behind him, and he was like facing away from it. He was like sort of, I guess you could say, like leaning on it, but like facing away from it, and I was facing towards it, and I could see out of it, but he couldn't, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, he was out there, and then I was just like sipping some hot chocolate, and these teenagers arrived, and they were just like they seemed as if they were like in some sort of argument or something, and then they were like pushing each other a little bit. Sounds like I was gonna say pushing and shoving, which makes sense. But yeah, and then they like stopped walking, and then I just saw them. I was like, oh, something's up. Like, I couldn't hear them at all, but like I was like, something's about to go down. So like they were like kept like sort of pushing each other and shoving like a little bit. They were obviously like yelling to each other about something. I couldn't hear it at all, but not really sure. There was like about 4 of them, I think, and they were just like talking about like whatever, I don't even know. But yeah, that happened, and then one of them like slapped another one in the face, and then I was like, oh my gosh. And by the way, like, my dad didn't, like, he couldn't see any of this. He was just like reading something on his phone, not concentrating on anything, and except his phone, of course. And like they kept fighting, and then one of them like went and like punched another one. I think he was aiming at like his face to punch him in his face, but he only punched him like in the side, and I was like, okay, something's about to go down. It's gonna get really tough. And then like they started like one of them like started like hitting another one, and then like they were like, it looked like they were yelling at each other, and then like a few people inside like started like looking out. Like they didn't make any noise, but like I could just like see them. They're just like, oh, what's going down? And like some people outside saw them and like backed away, and like they were still walking in the general direction that they were walking in, but like they tried to avoid them, and like a bunch of people knew. But like, this is the hilarious bit about it. My dad was like still on his phone, like reading a newspaper article or something, and he didn't even know like what was going on. He like, yeah, you guys know what I mean. So yeah, that's what happened. And then like this guy, like he went ahead and like, oh yes, by the way, there was 4 of them, but only 2 were like arguing. And then like this guy like went, and then he kicked the other guy like right in the mouth, and then like he like put his hand to it, and he's just like, ah, that hurts so much. Like you could just tell it was like that was what he was thinking or whatever. And it was like, whoa, like what's going on? And then like they like went, like they sort of like stopped fighting, and then like a few minutes later a police car like showed up, and then like a police officer got out, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is like legit, like someone called the cops on them. Like they thought it was that bad. And then he was just like, he was probably talking to them, he's just like, what happened or something. And then he ended up putting the guy that like kicked the other one in the mouth in handcuffs, and like took him away. And then like I was like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. Like these teenagers had a bit of a fight, and then one of them got arrested. Like, it was actually a pretty like crazy experience for a 10-year-old, like for a 10-year-old to witness. Like, I didn't even see that much stuff. Like, my parents tried to stop me from watching any movie that had like blood in it or any stuff like that. And I just suddenly saw that, like, I think his mouth was bleeding when like that kid kicked him. I was like, whoa, like that is too crazy. So yeah, that was pretty intense. And like the funniest thing about it was like my dad didn't know any of it. Like when he concentrates on something, he concentrates on nothing else. Let me have a drink of water. Okay, so good. But yeah, that was like, that's the funniest thing about it. I didn't even tell anybody. Like, apart from like, the only people I told was like 2 of my friends, like about a week ago. Not a week ago. That meme is so old. It's not even a meme. Don't know what I'm talking about. This is embarrassing. But yeah, I didn't actually want to tell my dad because I wanted to keep it like pretty funny. And so yeah, that was probably one of the only times I saw someone get arrested. I probably did like two times before, I think, but that was like the only time I witnessed something crazy happening. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this life story and like learn from it. Don't kick someone in the mouth, otherwise you're gonna go to prison. That was very specific. And stay legendary, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.